Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy. And this is episode 36 of Tea Tuesday. I can't believe that already. It's been a crazy week, and yes, I have a bit of a cold, but let's go ahead and go make some tea, and then we're going to spill all the tea that's been going on in my life in the past week. Let's try some tea. I'm looking forward to this. I have a massive sinus headache right now. I just took a really hot shower too, so tea and a hot shower is going to be amazing for all this congestion that I have. I am on I first started to feel like I was getting sick on Sunday. No, it was Monday. I had a sore throat. And then I had a really bad sore throat on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I started with the exhaustion and not just feeling great. The congestion and stuff didn't hit for me until probably like Thursday, Friday, and today is Sunday. So I've had a couple days. So I just kept like running as much as I could and enjoying as much as I could of my daughter's vacation. But I did have to make some considerations, and a couple of the days, like when we went to Universal, the first day I hit it hard, but I didn't ride Velocicoaster because I wasn't feeling fantastic. And that's one where I love the ride, but it's at like max intensity for me. So it's one where if I'm feeling off, I know I won't enjoy going to max intensity and not feeling well. So I chose not to do it. And then the second day, we bought a book. We stopped, and I was because I just had no energy that day. I was like, look, I still want to go. I still want to participate on some things, but I don't necessarily want to be running around. Still did a bunch of steps that day and bought a book, found a quiet place, read most of the book, had a fabulous time. My kids had a fabulous time. My husband had a fabulous time. We did write some things together, and we all ended up coming home early because we were all tired, because by that point, it was Wednesday, and my daughter and I had 4 very full days in the parks. So we came home early. Thursday, my girls took my car and they went to Epcot for the morning, and then we went to had the Christmas party. I am one who I don't leave the Christmas party very early. I stay as late as I possibly can, but still try to get out ahead of the crowd. We usually leave around 11:15. I didn't make it. I didn't make it that far. I left right before 10 o'clock at the fireworks. I just had no energy and was just not feeling great. So I was just like, I would be better off just going home and going to bed. But I did enjoy it. I had a good time. I do feel bad that I left early, because the Christmas party is something that I look forward to every year. That's the 6th time in a row that I've gone to a Christmas party. It is definitely tradition at this point. I'm going to need to start saving again for next year, because I love it. It's my favorite. I could take or leave the Halloween party. I am not a Halloween girly, and that's fine. All you Halloween girlies, enjoy your Halloween. That's fabulous. It's just not my thing. I'm Christmas, and my tree is not up. I did not get the tree up before my kid came, which is fine because it worked out better because she wouldn't have anywhere to put the air mattress. So this week, that is my goal, is to get the tree up and get it Christmasified in here and enjoy the Christmas season. We had so much fun at Epcot and Animal Kingdom. I did do one vlog, so if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. It's just a vlog of everything that she tried around Epcot. If you're triggered by non-keto foods, definitely avoid that one. There are some keto foods in there, of course, but I was just documenting some of the food that was around because she was trying stuff and it was fun. And yeah, and I did have a couple bites of things and things like that. So we had a fabulous time doing that, had an enjoyable time with the visit, and then she goes home tomorrow. I'm gonna try and keep this one quick because like I said, I have massive sinus pressure right now and I wanna get back in the bed and finish reading a book and more hot tea. All right. Jobs is interesting. It's fun. I officially got offered the job at the Grove. I did find out that it was $1 more an hour and I'm super excited, so I accepted that. I attempted over a couple of days to contact Target to let them know that I was going to not be coming in. There was no one ever answered the phone. So I am supposed to be at work today at 2 o'clock. I ain't showing up. I just am not showing up. It's not something I'm gonna put on my resume, and yes, I do realize it is burning a bridge. I don't intend to play at Target anytime in the near future. I just don't. I definitely am needing the break from retail because I've done it for so long. It's not bad, but I need a break. And my new job, Morgan & Morgan, was a break from retail, and I really liked that. This new job is going to be a break from retail. While very similar, both jobs have some similarity aspects to them. But I'm excited. I'm so excited. So I go in tomorrow, which will be Monday, to fill out my paperwork. It shouldn't take very long. I'm gonna get a tour. I'm gonna get my uniforms and things like that. It's gonna be weird to have like a uniform. It's only a top, it's a shirt. It makes sense though, it's branded. We really aren't gonna be seen by the guests, but I guess if we walk around the resorts, we do need to stand out as being an employee. But for the most part, we're gonna be in our office taking reservations and stuff like that, which is fine. So I'm okay with that. It's gonna be black pants and a polo type shirt. I can do that pretty easy. So now I have a bunch of clothes that I really can't wear to work, but it's fine. I'll make use of it somehow. Or I will end up just going through the closet and donating it. But for now it's staying. But yeah, lots on the job front. I'm super excited about it. I know my excitement does not show at this point as much as I am excited about it. Like I said, I'm still just getting over this cold, so I've just been really taking it easy, and I don't officially start until Wednesday, so I should be doing pretty good by Wednesday. I have like cough drops, and I'm just trying to keep hydrated as best as I can, which when I have an awful headache, I don't like to drink water, but I'm working on it and working on my electrolytes. Drinking hot tea really does help because I can at least get some liquid in me. This is caffeine only because it's 1 o'clock and I haven't had any caffeine today. I've been focusing on water and electrolytes this morning, and I knew that the caffeine would help with the headache a little bit because part of it was a caffeine headache, and I can already tell that it's just the heat of it all is all breaking that up for me, which is fabulous. But I will tell you a funny story about the Christmas party. I wear Birkenstocks a lot, and I have this one style that I absolutely love. It's super comfortable, and I think I have it in 1, 2, 3 colors. So I have it in 3 colors. It might be 4, but it's definitely 3 colors. Well, I have 2 colors. I have this taupe color and I have this gray purpley color that are very similar. Well, Thursday I put on shoes. Friday morning I got up to take the dog out, put on the shoes that I wore the night before, and realized I had on 2 different shoes. They were different colors. Same style, they were the right feet, but they were just not the same color. So that was fun. That was a fun one to wake up and I was like, man, I was definitely out of it by Thursday. So it is what it is on that front. So yeah, really excited. I know I'm going through the next week. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna get 3 videos out this week. I'm gonna do the pork belly, but the pork belly you'll see it on Sunday. Instead of a regular meal prep video, you're gonna see it on Sunday. And that does 2 things for me. One, it gives me a break from the planning part of meal prepping, which I do love very, very much. But I promised you that pork belly video and I haven't had a chance to get it done, so I'm just going to get it done. And then it's something that's lighter and easier and I can do early this week. I can film it early this week and get it done. There will be a what I'm eating in a day video. May or may not be a grocery haul, which grocery hauls are bonus. I know you guys love them, but I don't always grocery shop every week, so that's why they're considered like a bonus video. And I didn't really grocery shop last week. We grocery shopped for my daughter coming, but this past week I didn't do it. And I may really not even need to do it this next week. We're going to see about that. Sorry, the tea is just amazing and it's really just helping opening up my sinuses. So I do apologize that I keep drinking tea, but it really is helping me feel much, much better, which is part of the reason why I made a whole pot. And my pot is so cute. I love this pot. This one doesn't live in my tea cabinet. It actually lives on my entertainment center, but I enjoy it. I love each week figuring out which teapot, which teacup I'm going to use and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, Piper's wagging her tail and it was hitting the door. So that's why I looked over. In case you heard that thumping, that's what that was. All right, I feel kind of distracted, but that's okay. Knitting. I did do some knitting. I didn't bring it over, mostly because I got like 4 rows done on my white sweater. It's not enough to really show you anything, but I did make a decision. I was just rambling and talking with my daughter, and I had the pink sweater, and I love that sweater. I loved the color. I did not love the yarn. The yarn was, it just wasn't for me. I've been knitting for 18 years now. I have very discerning tastes when it comes to what type of yarns that I like and what type of yarns that I want to use. I can find nice-ish yarns at a reasonable price. I tend to want to use good quality yarns, which tend not to be cheap. Not that there's anything wrong with budget-friendly yarns, because there really isn't, but I'm a texture girl. And that's where a lot of things come into play with yarns. And why I also like to stick a lot of times with natural fibers, because I know how they're going to behave. You don't always know how it's going to behave on a man-made fiber. So the yarn I was using was a baby yarn. It was acrylic. Nothing wrong with it. I have used some very nice acrylic yarns. I have made sweaters out of some nice acrylic yarns. It's not my go-to. It's not what I prefer. I'm very picky when it comes to an acrylic yarn because it is a texture thing for me and it's a weight thing. I don't want heavy, bulky filling either. So I am very discerning, I guess would be a way to say it. But anyway, this yarn, as I was knitting, kept pilling and floofing, and it was actually now that I've had a few weeks away from not working on the project, I realized that the yarn was pretty much a deciding factor in that. So I ripped it out. I cleaned out some yarn this morning, found a garbage bag full of stuff to donate that I know I'm just not going to use, that I bought because it was affordable and was decent and I wanted to make the sweaters. But I've realized when it comes to the sweaters, what I truly, truly desire out of these sweaters is I want to have them for many, 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 many years. So for me, it's not about being affordable per se. I get so much enjoyment out of, like, the process of knitting is one source of enjoyment. The yarn I'm using is another source of enjoyment. Wearing it is a third source of enjoyment. If I get a compliment on it and it's something that I've made myself, I take pride in that because I work hard to, make a sweater, and I don't knit as much as I used to. So my knitting protection is down, but that's fine because I'd rather take longer to knit and knit with the yarns and fibers that I really want to knit instead of being a fast knitter and just pumping out projects. I'd rather the projects that I do complete be amazing and 100% what I want from start to finish of that project, to meet each one of those little pleasure points along the way. So that includes getting the yarn that I want to work with, that I enjoy to work with, which is the natural fibers, which does mean that I do have to save up because they're not cheap. I'm still a fluffy girl. So yes, I do realize that I can go to the store and I can buy a sweater for cheaper. But I don't get to control what goes into that sweater. I don't get to control the shaping of that sweater. I don't get to control the color of that sweater, the fibers that are used in that sweater. And when I'm knitting something for myself, those are the things that I take into consideration. It's, how does the pattern look? Does it look the way I want it to look? Can I manipulate to fit my body better? Which I can do. Those are skills that I have, and I want to use them to produce quality clothing that I'm going to have for a really long time. So I decided I'd rather, life's too short. I'm knitting with the stuff I want to knit, even if it means I knit less stuff, which is fine because I'm knitting less stuff anyway. And all the talking is making my throat tickle, which is the other reason why I'm drinking tea. But I need to hurry it up because I'm gonna run out of tea soon. So yeah, so no knitting to show this week. Hopefully I'll get some time to work on the sweater. The sinus headache is really what's kind of been stopping me because I just don't want to think, and reading a book is, I don't have to think with that. Other exciting things, I got new tech. I have some coming. I am officially 100% an Apple girly. I have had an iPhone for a really long time. I've had iPhones for a really long time at this point. I bought it used, but the first iPad I used was the first generation iPad that I enjoyed. Had it. I had another iPad at one point and ended up selling that. And then I have this iPad right here, which I got the last time I went to school. This is a 9, so it's not super, it wasn't the newest when I got it. And it's Wi-Fi only. And it's bigger. But I ordered an iPad mini and it will be here soon. But I did also order my very first Macintosh computer. I cringed the entire time I was searching for this. So thank you so much to everybody on Facebook who gave me advice. I reached out to Joe of 2 Crazy Ketos and got some advice from him as well, because I wanted to make sure the next computer I bought didn't work just for school, but it works for this channel and the growth of this channel and being able to edit and do some more creative type things. So I set myself a budget, which I am very, very glad of. I thought it was going to be hard to spend this entire budget because I had a healthy budget. I felt it was a very healthy budget. I had a decent budget. I was originally going to get an iMac. They made the new ones, and there was one in pink and there was one in purple, and I was like, oh, so cute. I could live with a desktop. I don't intend to take a laptop and go out. So I was planning a desk area, all that kind of thing. And then I started doing a survey and it said, what do you want to use your computer for? Are you doing it for school? Are you doing creative? And it kept recommending a MacBook Pro, and it kept recommending a mini. So I was thinking about getting the mini because one thing that I loved at Morgan was we had dual screens. And there's a way I can do it with my MacBook, and I probably will end up doing it at some point. I'm not in a rush because I just spent so much money on it. But I was leaning towards the mini, and the mini is actually very, very affordable. If you have monitors already, if you have a mouse and keypad and all that kind of stuff already. I could have gone with the mini and gotten cheaper monitors. One of the things that I was super interested in for me was that with the recent updates, they have come out with nanotexture on some of their items, which helps reduce glare, which also can help reduce eye strain. And I know with working in front of a computer at Morgan & Morgan, and I'm going to be in front of a computer at my new job, I knew coming home and having to work on my laptop or a computer or whatever, I knew I wanted to reduce the glare as much as possible to help reduce the eye strain and things like that. So I was not going to be able to cheap out, in my opinion, on one monitor. I looked at it, can I buy one monitor and save up and buy another one? Because on the education side, the 28-inch studio monitor was $1,800. So not a small investment. I don't mind investing in quality materials. I don't. But I want to make sure that is something that's going to last and I can get my value out of it. I thought about buying cheaper monitors and cheaper things, and I was going to get a cheaper mouse and a cheaper keyboard, which would have been fine. But then by the time I started adding the desk and the chair that I also needed, that I wanted to get out of my computer budget, I was not going to be able to get as powerful as a mini as I could if I went and I got a MacBook Pro. So I waffled a lot. Went back and forth. And what sold me on the MacBook Pro, and I got the 16-inch because I wanted the bigger screen, was that everybody said when it comes to editing videos and using editing software, which for the record for now, I've just been using iMovie. Excuse me. I've just been using iMovie on my phone. It's been easy, it has worked, but I know that I want to get better at editing and do some of these better quality adjustments with volume and music and even throwing in other types of graphics. Eventually, maybe, I don't know, that might be too much for my skill set. But I knew I wanted the possibility to be able to do that. So I wanted to make sure that I had a good editing set up. So taking everybody's advice into consideration, doing my own research, it made more sense to have more storage, more power, and a faster processor in a smaller MacBook than it did to have less of it to have my ideal setup, if that makes sense. It was very important that I stuck to my budget, and I had a feeling that if I had settled for something lesser that was closer to what I wanted based on aesthetics, I'd be disappointed. I'm not disappointed in my MacBook. It's amazing. And I have never used a Mac computer before, so I'm learning. It is a learning curve. I like that everything integrates together with my phone, with my watch, and I have been a long time Apple user on these 3 types of devices. So this was the last piece. So I guess I have been walled in for sure when it comes to Apple stuff, and I will probably never deviate at this point because I'm so used to how they function. And I've also learned that I have really never scratched the surface. So I am learning to use my tech. I'm learning to use my tech because that's what I paid for. That's what I spent the money on this for. And these are not expensive, but they're not cheap either. So one thing that I learned to do is I, of course, learned to change my screen. Everybody knows how to do that. And there's not really a lot of personal information on here. But I learned to make widgets and display my home screen the way that I wanted to. I knew how to get my home bar down here the way that I wanted to, but you can see that this has not got the nano texture on it. And I didn't grab my laptop just because I didn't want to show up, but I think my new iPad mini has nano texture. I'm not sure. If it does, you'll see it. But anyway, I got that done. All set up the way that I want, and then I went and I made some other widgets and got my apps situated. I got my phone set up, everything is in folders, and because I have a lot of apps on my phone that are not on my other devices, which is fine because my phone is my go-to device. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough because my my throat is getting really scratchy. If it gets any more scratchy, I'll pause and I'll go get a cough drop. But anyway, when I want to do something that needs a bigger screen, reading online, as far as I was using it for textbook reading online, I was trying to learn to journal and all that kind of thing. And I'm working on it again. I'm working on getting did I get this one? Okay. So I'm working on learning to use digital planners. I'm finding they're not any cheaper buying it digitally, because by the time you get the templates and the stickers, it's not cheaper. I do have a first generation pencil as well. This may get upgraded at some point, but this one still works fine, so I don't feel the need to upgrade, but I might. And these are affordable, all things considered. I think it's like $130. It's not an unattainable expense. But anyway, so I started on my student planner last night. I still don't think I have everything set up because I bought a template and proceeded to delete half the pages on the template, which is actually something that's very cool because you can re-download the files. I didn't save them yet to Dropbox, but they're all still saved in my Etsy files. And unless the seller goes under, I still have access to those files. Even if the seller goes under, they weren't that expensive and they're replaceable. Everything is just so disposable in today's day and age. Anyway, so I started on it. So I had a different cover on it, but it was spelled wrong. And I was very, very disappointed in that. I was just disappointed in that because you couldn't edit and change it. I understand that, when you're trying to create things, I misspell stuff all the time. Sometimes a lot of things change, and if you see a misspelling, just let me know, and I will go back and I will fix it. And it's, I'm busy, I'm doing things, I don't always catch it. Spell check doesn't always catch it either. Sometimes autocorrect will change it when I've spelled it correctly, and then I don't realize that it's changed it and I've moved on. So I couldn't get it to work. But let me turn it. But I did do this beautiful cover, and I added all these stickers and little things like that. So that was fun. And then I am working on setting it up, but it goes in through here. I've put some stickers on some things, but I just have to get in and use it and see what I'm doing. Some of it I know that I'm not going to use. I'm also planning to set up later today just some notebooks in general with just light paper, and I've got one going right here. So let me go back to the cover. I haven't personalized it, but there I have this, and this is pretty cool. And then it's got this page. What I like is it's hard to see, but down here you have the different types of paper. I can click on those and it'll bring me to that type of paper, and then I can just work on my notes on that type of paper. And it tells me I could put the title, and then if I want to scroll, there's a bar. I know it's really hard to see. There's a bar right here, which all I have to do is tap on those numbers and it goes in through there, which is pretty cool. Stickers are also very fun, because stickers are what I use a lot of when I'm planning anyway, and they're usually the most expensive, and they are here too. And then let me scroll down, because I bought a book one. And I bought a non-book, a daily planner, and I don't know what I did with the daily one. I might have deleted the daily one that I was working on. Nope. Got it. Just gotta go to the front page. Actually, I have two different daily ones because one I bought that I thought was going to be really cool, and it's not what I want to track at all. So that's where I'm saying, you know, sometimes the digital, you can look at pictures and you can kind of see the layout, but until you actually get the file, you don't know what it looks like. But anyway, I have this one, which was just the background and the words. I wish that I could change these words to say what I wanted to say, but I was able to add my stickers, which was really, really cool. And then I like over here up at the top, it tells you, I know you can't see it, but at the top across the bar, it tells you yearly, it tells you December 2024, so I won't be able to use this one till December. January, February, March, so you can click right on what it says. And then, so I started on one of the December pages. So this was just a plain page. I added some stickers to it. I added some information and color coded it. I added some lines because I know I'm going to want to write my books right here. I had, like I said, I bought a book one and I haven't played with it yet. I don't think the book one is working the way that I want it to, but it is there. And then I'll show you real quick the one that I didn't like. So it was created by a person with ADHD, and I thought that that would be really cool. But just because they have ADHD doesn't mean that we want to track the same things. But I like it over here because you can click on the month and the day, and it tells you it can go right to where you want to go. And then it's got also a home page. So, and any page that you turn, it is right there, which is fantastic because then you just tap with your pencil and it brings you right to where you want in the planner, which is essentially how a tabbed planner works as well. So here is my actual paper planner, which I'm still very tempted to go ahead and buy another one because I love this. But it's tabbed, so I can turn right where I need to in my planner at any point in time. I'm so sorry for all the coughing. I really can't help it at this point. But anyway, it also has on here, down here, where I can mess around with the paper types, and I might still do that. I personally don't like that this one is dark mode. I know some people really, really love dark mode. I do not. It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. I don't mind it sometimes. But, I mean, I think I can make this one work for what I wanted to do, but I need to spend some time doing it. And it's just going to take me a little bit of time to figure out what I want to do. So what I may do is this one I may work on and set up and be just like my life planner, and then I'll have the student one. Possibly, I don't think the student one is going to work quite the way that I want it to, which is fine, but I'm going to give it a shot. And then I know the 2025 one, or the 2025 one that I got, the other one is actually set up very similar to what I want anyway. And it's the same type of things when you're buying a planner in person. You're looking for specific things that you want in a planner, and it's not always there. All right, book time. And I got my Kindle and I got my stickers, which I realized that yes, I have put them upside down, which is fine. I don't care. They're not actually taped in, so I can take them out. And I do change them regularly, and they are going to probably get changed here real soon because I am going to be ordering some more stickers because I do want to use stickers. While I don't like to put stickers directly on my devices, I don't like to do that. Some people do, and that's fine, that's you. But what I do want to do is I want to be able to get some stickers and decorate my covers. I don't mind doing that on my covers, but I love stickers. This one needs just like a wipe down refresh because it just does, but that's all right. Okay, so Kindle and books and what I've read. I have some new books that I've read and bought. And then I have, what did I finish this week? I finished 1, 2, 3, 4. I finished 4. With that being said, 3 of those are short stories, which were a couple hour reads, 70 to 150 pages. So they weren't books, but they still count. I'm still counting them as books. I read them. And This collection, there's still 2 left in the collection. It's a collection of 5. It dropped on Kindle. It is an Amazon thing. It dropped on Kindle this week on the 12th. So I'm going to give you the titles and who they're by. So I have not read this one yet. It's Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. Then they have Cruel Winter with You, which is Allie Hazelwood. That one was one of the longer ones. And I love the short story. The only thing I don't like about short stories is they often feel rushed. Like you're trying to get to know the characters super fast. Usually involves like one type of scene and one situation, which is actually perfect. But with that, the characters and a little bit of their back history, once you started getting to know their back history, I'm like, I want this to be a whole book. And I felt really bad that it was not a whole book. It could have been a whole book. It could have been a whole Hallmark movie. It was fabulous. I loved it. I would give that one probably pretty close to 5 stars. The only thing that stops it from being 5 stars is it wasn't enough and I wanted more. So that one was awesome. Then I read Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandra Bellfleur. It was so cute. It was so funny. And I really, really enjoyed that one too. And again, I found myself wanting that to be a whole book or a whole movie. I just wanted more. The story was that good and that engaging, and I laughed and I loved it, but it just felt like rushed. Which is another reason why I don't typically do short stories. I like to get into the nitty gritty with the characters. I really like to get to know them. I love world building is a big thing for me. And I love when there's spice because spice helps break up that stuff. And there are some spice in these, but they're not smutty. They're just a little spicy. And then the next one I read that I also really enjoyed was Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Dara. That one was cute. That one was one where it was perfect as a short story. It did exactly what you wanted it to do. So sorry. It gave you everything you wanted inside a story, which was fabulous. I have started the next one, which is All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. I'm struggling to get into this one. I need to just start it over. But that is so far what I have been reading. Then, I know I mentioned that I bought a book when we went to the bookstore. I did not buy a Christmas book. I almost bought a Christmas book, but I was looking around and enjoying it. I got this one. This is book 2, I believe, in a series. There are a series of interconnected standalones, so you can technically start everywhere. I haven't decided if I want to go get the other 2. I might, because I really enjoyed this book, and it's not super thick. And like I said, I read probably half the book, like half to 3/4 of the book while at the theme park. And we weren't there all that long. We were only there for like 7 or 8 hours. So it went super, super fast. It has a lot of those tropes in it that people think are cheesy and overdone, which I agree, they can be cheesy and overdone. But sometimes you just want a book that's good and you can just get in and you can read and you don't have to think. That was this. This book has the pregnancy trope. He is a billionaire, trust fund kid, and his grandfather divines a way to get him to appreciate life. That's a way to say it without. And he goes without money. Meets a girl. She gets pregnant on a one-night stand. Abusive father. They were all in here. But, like I said, Sometimes you just want that. And I really, really enjoyed this one. This one was probably like a 3.5 star read for me. It's not one that I'm going to overly think about. I would recommend it if you like those type of tropes and you want something that you could just, it's quick, easy, fun, and you can put down and enjoy. This fits that bill. So for me, when I'm reading a book, 1 star is, I don't even want to admit that I read it. 2 stars is, I read it, I got through it, it wasn't great. Usually if it's a 1 star, I didn't even finish the book. So you probably won't see a 1 star rating for me, because if it's a 1 star, I'm telling you, I didn't finish it. So then you know it wasn't for me. But just because I don't finish a book doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't like it. Sometimes I'm a mood reader. Sometimes I'll start a book and I'll go, this is not what I want to be reading now. And I'll stick it back on the shelf and I'll read it at another time. 2 stars is, I read the book, I didn't enjoy it. The example that I talked about last week was the Spindle Splintered. That book was not for me. I can't say that I would recommend that to you. But when I start getting to about 3 stars, that's where I enjoyed the book. It was good, entertaining. Don't necessarily want to read about it, think about it again, but I would recommend it to you. That's where this falls. 4 stars means I really enjoyed that book. I love the characters. I'm invested in them. If it's a series, at that point, I definitely want to go and read the rest of the series. It's almost perfect. And I realize there's not a lot of 5-star books for me. There's just not. For me, a 5-star book has to be one that I want to read again and again and again and again. I want to think about those characters often. I want to be involved in their world. I want to enjoy their world and their dynamic and their just everything about them again and again and again. So those are few and far between. And everybody has different opinions. For me, I loved the Fourth Wing series. It just really resonated with me. It's something that I really, really think about a lot. But my other 5-star reads has been the Diana Gabaldon Outlander series. I have been reading that series since I was a teenager. I have read it with the exception of the newest book, which I've only done once, which I should go through another reread soon. But I have so many other books, so it's kind of like not a priority right now. But I've read that first book, I'm not kidding, probably 15 times at least. And it goes down the further in the series that you get. I think all the way up to like book 5, I've read at least multiple times. The last few books I've only read once or twice. The last book I've only read once. The book before, I think I've read that one twice now. So I still reread it. I've just been entertained by other things, so I haven't felt the need to reread it, but that is a perfect example of a 5-star series for me. ACOTAR may also be a 5-star series for me. I read it so fast. I'm trying to go through a reread with it. Right now it sits at a 4. All right. What else I'm reading? Also, again, not a Christmas book, but it's because people asked me to read it and I read it. I'm reading it. So I'm working on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I was like 60 pages, I think, in last time. I am now 130 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it. It's what I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing, maybe. I do have to do some pre-work for school. But this, really, really, really good. The other one that I'm reading and I left up there is an audiobook, and I've gotten a little bit done. Not too much because I haven't had much time to listen to it. But I listen to audiobooks when I'm cleaning. I also listen to audiobooks when I'm knitting. But because I haven't felt well, I haven't felt like knitting, and I also haven't felt like cleaning, which I have done. I have done it though. So I haven't listened to it much, as I'm doing The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore, and it's getting really, really good. That series is super cute. Not a 5-star series for me, but it's definitely like a 4.5, and I recommend if you love that cute Hallmark easy to read, a little bit of spice, funny banter, all that kind of stuff is in those books. Other books. These first two I'm going to show you, I ordered last week when I showed you the big Christmas book haul and everything that I got on Amazon, that giant, massive book haul. These were in there. In that order, they just hadn't come. So I got Christmas and a holidays. So Christmas reading is going to be commencing again here real soon, as soon as I finish Evelyn Hugo, which I really want to be reading Christmas, so this is taking me longer than I want, even though it's excellent. It's an excellent book. And then this one came across TikTok, and I was sold on the name. I have no idea what these stories are about. I do know that it is multiple stories, and that they're spicy and smutty. So I grabbed it based on the title alone. It's called The Naughty Christmas Collection, and it's quite beefy. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories in here. I don't know how many pages total. So these are going to be a little bit closer to short stories. There's 418. So we're probably talking each book is probably about 250 maybe. I thought I heard the door, but it's probably my kid making coffee or something. So the first one is Carnal Saint Nick, Sinful Santa, Unruly Chris, Vulgar Noel, and Rent a Date. So we'll see. That one was definitely influenced by TikTok alone. All the talking is definitely making me want to cough. Then when I went and I bought No Easy Dare, I saw this one. I had this book already, and I gave it to my daughter because I bought a special edition, because I'm a sucker for a special edition book at this point. If I can buy it special edition, I will. If it's got sprayed edges, I'm sold. So this cover's a little bit damaged in the back. There's just like a crease, but this sold out on Amazon super quick. I had ordered it on Amazon, and then I changed my mind, and I saw it in Barnes & Noble. So it's The Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. And I've read one Katie Robert book so far, but I have a couple. And she's spicy, so I know that I really like her. And I love the two color on here. So the front is red and the black is bottom. And it says, "Bow to your queen." And it's got beautiful in pages in here. Let me make sure. Yeah, I can. Even the inside is printed, and you could have basically an alternative color cover. It's just really pretty book. A really pretty book. And I like a pretty book. And she kind of falls into that dark romance thing, which is definitely a genre that I am enjoying, but does have limits, just like anything else. Then yesterday, we went up to Claremont, and they were going to have a craft fair, which we arrived too early, and took her to the coffee shop bookstore that we went, and she enjoyed her coffee that she got there. But we were killing some time, and we went into the Sunshine Bookstore, which I've talked about on this channel before, and I had a $10 coupon, and they were giving out advanced reader copies of books for free. So I picked one up. So this book I have not read yet, so it's not a review, and I'm showing you a book that has not been released. So you will not be able to get this book. I'll keep my eyes peeled for it. It says right here that it'll be coming out in March of 2025. Hopefully I'll get it read before then, because I would love to read it. But it's an advanced copy. It's called Solving for the Unknown. It's a geeky science romance, and I was sold. This gave me Alia Hazelwood vibes. So I definitely wanted to give this a try. It says sweet contemporary romance that's an emergency contact meets field notes on love. So because I grabbed this, I felt I needed to make a purchase. It's an independent bookstore, you know, and I love independent bookstores. I don't often shop with them. I should make them my first stop when I know I'm going for a brand new book, because I'd rather support them. But the problem with an indie bookstore that I have right now is I have a lot of the popular new books that are coming out already in my collection. So it makes it hard to find books that I want, because they usually have like one or two of a book, which is fine. They are independent, they are small. You can't stock everything. It's just impossible. So it's not a knock. It's just something that doesn't always work well for me. So they have limited amounts of stock, which is fine. But I found this one, and I hadn't seen it, but it's Christmas. So I'm like, well, I'm buying Christmas books. Hopefully I'll get through all my Christmas books. I think I have like 20 at this point. Some of these may not get done this year, and I'll have to read them next year. We'll see how it goes. Or maybe I'll do a Christmas in July thing and read the rest of them in July. But this is called The Christmas Crush, and it looks pretty good. It's super short as far as books go, or it's not super short. Yeah, it is short. It's like 300 pages. It's got recipes in it. That's really cute, because they're baking, and yeah, so that is the books that I've gotten, what I'm reading, how life is going. I know next week I'll have more updates for you on my job situation. I definitely will have just one job by next week for sure, which is going to be the Grove, and I start my training on Wednesday. So that's going to be wonderful and fabulous, and I'll give you an update next week. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will sit down and we will chat again soon, dishing all the tea and spilling all the tea on everything that is going on in my life for the next week. So I will see you guys again next week. Have a wonderful and joyful day.